Top of the morning to you guys. I always say morning. I don't know when you listen to this, but I do them in the mornings. And the mornings are my best times. I treasure my mornings. They are my most productive times. And I understand that some people stay up all night and get their work done. Some people do it in the morning. Some people have afternoon. You know, there are different times when we are productive. It doesn't matter when you are. The important thing is to know when you are. Because when your time is the best time to create, the best time to work, because your productivity will naturally be higher. We all wired differently, and you must, as they say, the first thing to know is to know who you are. Identify what are your strengths, identify your dispositions, identify your attitude, your natural talents, identify anything that is natural for you that comes out good. So we're on the topic of accounting. I think I've done 3 lessons already. I was supposed to compress it in 3 on the principle of accounting, because we're doing the entrepreneurial journey, teaching you how to become an entrepreneur and how to set up an effective and well-run business system, because that's what it's about. Knowing how to set up a business system. You can always learn how to make money flipping real estate. You can always learn how to make money selling mugs. You can always learn how to make money selling soft drinks or running a restaurant. But if you do that, because business have life cycles, and if you do that and you get into your oldest years of life, you get older and you lose this business because whatever reason, because you don't control all the variables. If you lose this business and you're not a true entrepreneur, you only knew how to run restaurants and make them well, then you're not going to be able to reinvent yourself and pivot and operate on the sound principles of business to get yourself go back up and running. And also, if you're an entrepreneur, if you know the principles of business and you are running a business, you'll be able to grow it quicker, you'll be able to run it better. That's it. So we're giving you the underlying stuff. Somebody can put you into a hospital, let you go alongside a doctor, and you'll pick up the on-hand thing and the hands-on thing, and you learn it. But unless you go somewhere and actually have the theoretical background knowledge, then it's going to be much more difficult for you to function at the highest level, and you won't understand it as well as somebody who is doing it, who actually did study the theoretical part of it. So you need the principles, the foundation of it. And that's what we're doing. So we were at the accounting stage of business, and I was to compress two parts in one, but I had to pick this part out, and I wanted to do it by itself because it gets tons of people, and it could mean a difference between your business being between you staying in business and you going out of business. And that is the cash flow metrics, because we're looking at different metrics in your business. Your profit and loss, we're looking at your cost of goods sold, we're looking at your expenses, we're looking at your revenue, we're looking at your net profit, we're looking at your expenses, we're looking at your gross profit, we're looking at your sales. We talked about those metrics. If you want to go over that lesson and just understand in a deeper way what the key metrics are, what numbers you are to focus on, what numbers you must be looking at every week. How do you set up your targets, and how do you match these numbers? If you're not recording these, if you're not reviewing these, if you don't know these, if you can't take up a piece of paper and see these at the click of a button or at the flip of a file, you are not doing it correctly. And I always say it is okay to not do something correctly, but it is not okay to continually, for a long period of time, do it incorrectly. If you cannot do it right now, because I don't know your circumstances, you must have a plan set up and a chart, a roadmap of how you're going to get to that day when it has been done right. Don't slack off and say, oh, at some point I'll figure it out. Oh, when I have money, I'll figure it out. Have a plan. Say, hey, listen what I'm going to do. Next month, when I have no car insurance, when I already paid that bill early, or when this thing is not on my plate to do, I will take the funds and I'll do this. If I get a bigger order than usual that I never planned for, I will take the money and do this. So plan for it so you can start to do it right. Okay, let's go on to the cash flow metrics. So we are identifying some numbers that you must have tab on. You must be aware of them. You must know what's going on with them. So cash flow. The thing with cash flow is that, and this is what gets people, most people don't understand that a lot of businesses don't fail because they're not profitable. A lot of businesses fail because they cannot get their cash flow right. What do I mean by cash flow? Okay, let's say you run a business and you're selling soft drinks. Every week you purchase $10,000 worth of soft drinks. Let's say on Monday morning you have $10,000, and when you buy soft drinks with that $10,000, you can supply your customers for the entire week. So you now need $10,000 to buy your products. It's a Monday morning. You need $10,000 to buy your products. You need $3,000 for gas. You need some other expenses that you have to pay upfront in the week. Let's say another $3,000. So you have $15,000 that you have to be spending every week. Let's say half of your soft drink, when you're sold out, when you sell all the soft drinks that you have bought, you're only gonna get $17,000. So $2,000 is usually your profit, just for numbers' sake. That is providing you sell all your soft drinks. Following? So $10,000 supply you with all the goods you need to sell for the week. You have another $5,000 in expenses, and when you sell everything, you will have $17,000 left. So you're covered. You can do it, and you will have $2,000. You can pay the $15,000 to buy the goods, cover your expenses, and there's $2,000 left. These are numbers for argument's sake. All right. So let's say two of your customers who purchase $4,000 of goods don't pay you the same time. They're not cash on deliver customers. They're 7-day credit customers. So now you're selling all your soft drinks, but you don't have $17,000 as you should have, because you're not collecting all the money one time. You have $4,000 out that you're going to collect next week. Right? So when Friday or Saturday evening come, you're not going to have $17,000. That's what your sales are, but that's not what your cash collected is. Your cash collected becomes $13,000. You, my friend, have a negative cash flow because you need $15,000 to run your business, but the week brings you $14,000. You're short $1,000. Where is that $1,000 going to come from? Because you need $10,000. The supply is not going to give you the goods without you bringing is $10,000 come next Monday morning. And you're not going to get the additional $4,000 till next week, Friday. And when the customers give you that $4,000, they'll owe you another $4,000 again if they are a week running customers, if every week they run. So they'll take from next week again $4,000, and you will only get $4,000, which come in to balance your cash flow. But you are $1,000 out already. And if that's a monthly calculation, then you can do it for the month. If that's a weekly calculation, I'm just showing you how, if you credit stuff, or if you don't know your numbers, if you don't figure it out, you'll end up with a negative cash flow. A negative cash flow will kill your business. I had an experience with a guy running a restaurant. What he was doing, he offered lunch on credit. He don't collect for 80% of his lunches until the end of the month. People supposed to pay him on the 31st or the 25th when they get paid. He's fully collected around about the 7 days after. It's a navigate between people. People say, oh, I left early, or people say, oh, I've sent the money, I never got to the bank, I pay, and it's all that stuff. But he's fully collected 7 days after the end of the month. So it's taken him 37 days to get his money. All month, he's putting his cash into running that business. And he has to wait a whole month for the money. If he gets hit with any other type of expenses, like unplanned for expenses, it comes out of his pocket because the business don't give him that money yet. So there's a gap between when you're selling and running your business, providing the cash to run your business, and when you're actually collecting cash. Those are the two things you put together to look at what your cash flow look like. You gotta know what your cash flow looks like. If you don't know, you're gonna be spinning your wheels. You're gonna end up in overdraft charges at the bank. You're gonna end up shortchanging the customer. You're gonna end up not having money to invest in the things that you're to invest in. You might push aside advertising because you don't need it right now and you have to buy goods for the customer. So you're hurting the business in the future, adding more people into your pipeline. You might push away hiring a new staff because you don't have the money right now and you burn out the one you have, or you make them overwork and they start to deliver poor quality service. It hurts you in the long run. You might have to not supply a customer because you cannot buy enough to supply the customer because all your money did not come in yet and some of your money turned to bad debt. You get what I'm saying? So, if your cash flow is not figured out, your business will go bankrupt. You'll stop running. I cannot tell you how much money is lost and how many businesses go down because they cannot figure out their cash flow. Let me go over that again. You have a certain amount of money that you need to run your business every week or every month, and you have a certain amount of sales that you make every week or every month. If the cash doesn't come in to cover you in the month, you start to run into problem. You run a negative cash flow, meaning the amount of money is coming in. It's not that you're making less. It's just the timing when the money comes in is not positive in relation to the timing when you need the money. It's going to stifle your growth. It's going to stifle the quality and efficiency with which you can run your business. It's going to dwarf your business. Because if you don't have the money to turn, you have issues. You're going to have to take it from other section of the business. You're going to have to starve some other section of the business. So people do complex workout with their cash flow. So guys say, okay, I can only sell 50% of my products on credit. I never allow my credit line each week to go above 50%. What does that mean? He's saying that I need to collect for half the products I sell every week in order for me to have a positive cash flow. I'll lose a customer. I'll not take on a customer. I'll hold back myself. I'll do anything. But I will not go for a customer if I know that it's going to throw out my cash flow balance. I'm not doing it. If you do it, it's going to mess you up. So there's a guy who's going to say, tell you what, I'll take $50,000 from you and I'll pay you in 7 days. That's a good deal, man. I'll buy all my stuff from you. You get a good sale. But when you look at your cash flow, it's going to make you only have 30% of the money you need in the week to run your business, because he's going to scoop up all that money and you cannot get that credit from your supplier. So if you cannot get your supplier to bank the customer, leave the customer alone. What do I mean? If you cannot say to your supplier, okay, I have a new order for $50,000, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to pay you for my regular order and I'll pay you for this new order in 14 days. If the supplier says no, you can't say yes. If you continue to say yes to that customer and another $50,000 customer, before long, you will be in a serious cash flow bind. And it's not that you don't make the money, it's just that the money doesn't come in on time for you to continue to run your business. So, as they say, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bushes. You're going to give up, you're going to start to lose out on your customers that's giving you the $2,000 because you're spending $15,000 and you're making $17,000, but because you're chasing some other customers and you don't have the base to run it, you lose your entire business, because you sooner or later you cannot supply anybody because your cash flow balance is negative and it keeps stacking, and you don't have the money. If there's not a bank to give you an overdraft facility, if you don't have a credit card to buy the time on, or if your supply is not giving you the time, you cannot continue to extend the time. So therefore, I'm saying that you have to work out your cash flow first. Until you work out your cash flow, you cannot keep on doing new things, taking on new customers, and adding. If you have any form of a credit arrangement, so know first what type of a business you are in. Are you all cash? If you're all cash, you do not have this problem at all. All you have to do is work out your sales, know what you're bringing in every week or month, know how much it costs you to bring that in, and you know whether you're in profit or not. That's easy. But sometimes there's a lot of businesses that run on a credit basis. There's a lot of businesses that don't collect money up front. For example, I'm in this business where I sell an affiliate offer, meaning I am a middleman for a software product. Okay, that software product, when I get one person to buy, I make a huge commission, but I don't collect that commission until 45 days time. So if I sell 10 of that, if I sell $2,000 worth of that, I don't collect it till 45 days time. When you're in that type of business, your cost to sell one has to be extremely low. It's costing me $2. I'm making $80. It's fine. I can sell for a long time and wait for the money, because when in 45 days, when I get paid 80, I can put, if I'm using all that 80 to get customers, I can get 40 customers. The input cost is low, so I can wait on my money and I can cover my expenses quicker. If your input cost is high, or if the balance doesn't work out, you have to know what you're doing. You have to work the numbers, you have to work the math. You have to say, okay, and it's simple, it's not complicated. Don't get it all twisted up in your head. I'm just saying that if you don't collect all the money you sell at the same time, if you have to wait on your money, you must figure out how much you get every week and how much it costs you to operate your business every week. If the amount of money you're getting is not enough to operate your business because some of the money is still on the road, you have to back off a bit and ensure that you either grow your cash portion so it can balance it out, or you have to not take on any more credit or cut your credit portion. So let's say a guy say, okay, I want to buy 50,000 and I pay you the other week. And then at the same time, you have 6 more guys who are buying 10,000 cash. Now you can play, because you will have the cash income that will cover your weekly. Cash flow simply means that it is in a positive situation when it comes down to how much you need as against how much you're getting in. That you have to get right. Bank helps you with overdraft facilities. Suppliers give credit that helps you, or you can do it on your own terms by bringing your numbers in line. So a lot of people use credit cards or overdraft facilities to bank this growth, but that is not infinite. That's why I'm teaching you this. It's not an infinite game. Like if the bank says you have 100,000 in overdraft and you are now spending 200,000, or you take on credit that's going to bring you 200,000, and you don't have the income to do it, you start to get into more problems. So whatever you're getting in terms of leeway, whatever you're taking on in terms of credit, outside of the regular due diligence to say if you will actually collect this money, you have to first figure out, will this new business or the way I'm currently running my business or the new customers that I'm taking on or the new credits that I'm extending, is it going to bring me into a negative cash flow? Am I going to buy the goods for these guys, buy the goods for my regular people, and when I collect at the end of the week, I don't have enough to run the business? Although I'm thinking that, yes, I'm going to get a $50,000 check. Yes, I'm going to get a $60,000. It has to come to some point. You got to know. If you have a float to float it, you have to keep check on it. Don't start to dig from everywhere and move around things. You're going to get into a chaotic situation, and they're going to turn off your utilities at home, or they're going to turn off the utilities at the business, and the car won't be able to be and it's going to be a mess. You cannot do growth in a random sort of way. Some of the times, as my grandmother used to say, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bushes. As a business, in business, they have something in economics they call opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means you're always going to have to give up something to get something. Mean you cannot take advantage of all the opportunity because you don't have infinite resources. Economics is the management of scarce resources. Economics is a part of business. You got to manage scarce resources. You got to say, okay, no, we cannot open up that new route right now because we do not have the funding to open it up. We're going to need at least $50,000. We're going to have to work this route. We're going to have to save. We're going to have to try to look a credit card on the line to go open it. If we don't get a credit card, we wait until we save up enough money. Or if we get the credit card, we can open it up. If we don't get our supplier to give us the credit line, we cannot open it up. Don't say, yo, there's so many people over there who want products, I'm going to go and sell them. How are you going to finance it? You have to have a way to finance it. Small businesses tend to want to do it willy-nilly. They want to have some money here and they say, oh, these people are calling me in this section. Let's go over there and say, let's try and get some orders. And they go over there and they get orders and they take all the money that they have, that they see on their bank account, and they buy it. And then when the week comes around now for them to do their regular stuff, they're like, we don't have the money yet. These people don't pay yet. When are they going to pay? Oh, well, we can't supply our regular people until next week or until Thursday. Tell them Tuesday you'll come. And you start to get it all messed up. Because you have a good thing that's growing, but you're reaching for something else that you're not set up to reach. You're not set up to handle. Don't follow big businesses. Big businesses go to the bank. They say, hey, we need $5 million to do this project. The bank say, okay, let's see the feasibility of the product. Let's see what you have in as security. Okay, we're going to take your land titles, and here's the $5 million. And it's done. They go over there, they have $5 million, they set up their thing, and they go. They got 10 years to repay that debt. You don't have that facility. So don't jump the gun. Figure out your processes and go. If you're not working your numbers, you're going to always be in trouble. So don't see some money in your bank account and think that, yeah, I have money, I can go do this. Figure out what is coming up. What are your obligations? What are your weekly obligations? What's going to come in this week? How much is your net income this week? What's your net expenses this week? Then you decide if you can do it. Okay, the profits that we make for the next 3 weeks will be $8,000, but we have some equipment investment to make for $4,000. After we pay our salaries and do everything, we're going to have $4,000 left. Okay, we're going to need $16,000 for that route. So if we're doing it on our own, it's going to take 4 months to save the $16,000. Let's go. In 4 months' time, we'll be coming to your area. Good and go. That's it. Oh, but I don't want competitors to beat me to it. There's always going to be that situation. Competitors are always going to beat you to something. But there's no point in you getting to it and losing what you have. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.